Oh yeah, I love that. I love it. I love it. Welcome one, welcome all to the JillStream. This is Wire Wednesdays, episode
Yes.
2. So yeah, we had fun doing Wire Wednesdays last week, so we are back for episode 2. And let me see, what the hell was it? It's called The Detail.
Yes.
Wire episode 2 is called The Detail. It is again directed by our friend Clark Johnson from Homicide Life on the Streets, and he is the reporter in the last season of season 5 of The Wire. And we also said he directed the first episode of The Wire and directed the last episode. So Clark Johnson directed a couple episodes. He was one of their regular directors on this. So he directed this the first episode. He's also directed this second episode, which is again called The Detail. And
I'm ready. I'm set up.
Yeah, I got it on
turn it
I got it on HBO Max right now. But let me acknowledge our friends over at Planet EJOBN that are watching. Yeah, it was like we've been getting decent numbers over there. So I appreciate everybody that Planet EJOBN has been hanging out with us. If you are watching us on another platform, obviously appreciate you watching. But we are also on YouTube, youtube.com/Akari Press. You want to come hang out in the chat. But if you're like on Periscope or Twitch or whatever, you can still hang out there and obviously drop something in the chat and we will talk to you. So, all right.
Yes.
So Jill.
Yes.
I have my, because I got my Xbox controller. Okay, so I got my Xbox. So it's on. I got my HBO app.
I've got my iPad in front of me, right here. Okay, you ready to hit play?
I'm almost ready. But one thing that's different about this episode, that unlike the pilot episode, maybe they just haven't had a chance to finagle it with it. This one goes right into the HBO screen.
Oh, you mean like without a advertisement?
The one last week, you couldn't watch it without going through the Perry Mason commercial. They were like, people be watching the first episode.
I wonder if they do it randomly or maybe just
every time I've queued that pilot episode up. Well, I mean, it's something that they can do where they can go in and edit that little clip out, because when the next show comes up, they'll put the next clip in there. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if they've deemed certain episodes of everything they have like more watchable than others, and that's what they have the
data.
On.
They have the data like Netflix and Amazon Prime. They can tell. I know a lot of people. Well, it's the first episode of The Wire is probably their most popular episode, right? Because a lot of people are like, I keep hearing this show, The Wire, is really good.
Yeah, I want to watch a random episode.
And then you might watch, and go, okay. So because I've talked to people, it's like, you keep talking about how good The Wire is. I watched it. It was all right. I didn't want to keep watching. It's not their kind. They don't like crime stuff like that or whatever.
Totally understandable. Like, we all have our own tastes.
But I've got it on the static, where it comes in. It goes.
Yeah, me too.
It goes. Okay, so all I got to do is hit that button.
Me too.
I don't want to. I forgot.
Yeah, are you ready? Do you have everything set?
Well, I got my closed captioning on. Okay, so I should be. I don't want to. Yeah, because they do flag you. All right, so it is on the static screen where the HBO thing is. So all I got to do is hit this button. If you are ready, I'm ready. Hit it, and we are going to go.
We should do a countdown or something.
Okay.
So we can hit it at the same time.
Yeah, anybody that is watching this later or watching at home, you want to sync up and watch with us. So I'm on HBO Max, or I'm sure you're on demand service or however you watch HBO. So if you want to watch season 1, episode 2 of The Wire, The Detail, we are going to I'm going to do a little 3, 2, 1, and then so if you're ready, we're on the static screen.
Are we going on after 1, like 3, 2, 1, go, or 3, 2, 1?
And then boom, once I hit the 1.
Got it.
So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, yeah, here we go. All right, it's going.
The Detail. Dead body.
Yes, you see yes. This is, what was his name? Roland Gant, I think was the witness's name.
I'm bad with the names. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of people. There are a lot of names. I'll get better. But
and the guy, this brother here, the coroner, He was on Homicide: Life on the Streets, and let me pull his character's name up. His name was Luther Mahoney. They're kind of like the Barksdales on Homicide.
Okay.
The cops had a beef with the Mahoneys, and I think the chick that plays D'Angelo's mother on The Wire, she was his sister. So it got kind of weird. It got kind of shit because he's a lighter skinned guy, but his sister was the dark skinned. But the Mahoney family was like the Barksdales on Homicide.
Gotcha.
David Simon was like a consultant on that show. There's connections. Obviously, he worked for the Baltimore Sun. I think they had consulted him, and because he wrote a lot about crime in Baltimore. So that's why you see so many people that were on Homicide end up on The Wire and stuff. And some of them were on Oz as well. Just like the guy that played Bodie, he was on Oz, and then but. Okay, so they're obviously confirming that a state's witness or whatever got murdered.
McNulty and Bunk.
Bunk.
Yeah, okay, I remember.
Bunk, yeah.
I like Bunk. Everyone's flawed. They're all flawed. Everyone has their flaws because that's just life. That's reality.
Yeah. So,
that's actually another good thing about this show. I mean, the cops are so flawed. They're not perfect. Being good, they're being dirty,
No, we talked about that. That was one thing we talked about last week. That I like the fact that the cops, I remember NYPD Blue got into some trouble because they did an episode where the cops, one of the cops, I think he stole something there was a dead body and one of the cops robbed him.
Huh.
And like the police, one of the police reps or something, he actually got very mad at ABC and stuff. He's like, "Hey, that's dishonest to show the cop." And this apparently this had happened. They have police consultants on the show, and they're like, "Yeah, this happened," and blah blah blah. But some of the police reps and stuff, they were upset that NYPD Blue showed these police officers like stealing.
Right.
Anything that shows an officer in a bad light. So
right.
But I mean, that's why I like when they show Herc and Carver and they getting that work in and they stealing.
Yeah,
I think that's at least honest, man. I mean, hell, look at the news. There obviously there are a lot of great cops that help people and do all that, but there are cops that do.
You can't you'd be foolish to think there isn't. I mean, that's everyone's human. Everyone has flaws.
Hell, there's 50 Cent has a show on Crackle. It's called The Oath, and it's about cop gangs. These are crooked cops.
Oh yeah, I've heard of
That's the one of the guys was on True Blood and stuff. But the whole thing was, and this is apparently something that was based on reality, where these cops have gangs, and
they watch each other's back.
They're doing all that.
Of course, it makes. I'm not surprised.
I mean, obviously, we also talked about The Shield. Vic Mackey is obviously a dirty cop.
I had a friend that I worked with years ago, and I was talking to him about The Shield, and I was like, "Oh, we should check it out. It's pretty good." He's like,
"I love The Shield."
He checked it out, and he's like, "It's too real he couldn't do it because it was like he hated Vic Mackey too much. Like he had dealt with cops before in not a good light, and he couldn't handle it." I just thought that was interesting at the time. I was like, I didn't really think about it that way.
I love the lighting on this scene here where they're coming into this little shithole.
Yeah, they're coming into their new base of operations.
The Batcave, yes.
Is this underneath the courthouse or something? Is that where they are? Because they're not on police premises. Yeah. I think this is under the courthouse or something. Not that it matters.
I mean, I figured it was. I didn't actually.
Because don't they walk through? I kind of just wasn't paying attention as I was talking.
Well, I'm curious about that.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does. That's actually an
interesting
point. Not so much, but it's stuff that I found interesting and I want to talk about. Because one thing you've noticed, they have the police precincts set up in different parts of the city, right?
Sure, they all have of course, yeah.
Yeah, so, McNulty, he says multiple times he originally broke in the Western under Bunny Colvin, but which we'll see. I think Bunny. I'm trying to remember. I think Bunny is actually in a small cameo in this first season. It might be in the second season though, but I know when we first see Bunny, we don't know that he's Bunny.
Okay.
He's in like one episode, and you don't ever see him again, and he comes back for season 3, and they do the Amsterdam thing.
See, I haven't seen season 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I came in at season 4, so this is like 1 through 3 is like new to me.
Yeah, season 4 they sent him to he gets shit canned from the police, and he
it's been a while. I just don't remember. Yeah,
but his story obviously about creating this Amsterdam thing, it got a lot of national press, and then he got approached by academics, and they were wanting to do this study and all this kind of stuff. And like you said, and that's why that ties into them going into the public schools, and hooking up with Naaman and Dookie and Michael and damn, what was the other kid? I can't remember all. It just like I remember those 3. I can't remember the one kid that was selling the candies and shit. He had all the different shirts. I can't wait till we get to that, but yeah, this place is a shit pile. And
what's the guys who's in charge? What's his character name?
Lieutenant Daniels?
Yeah, Daniels.
Lance Reddick, yeah. Oh, this is when he has the talk with. Oh, he doesn't have his desk in yet, so he's having the.
Dumbass! Oh, dumbass has arrived.
This is. Oh yeah. Oh, I love it. Presbeluski. Presbo. Yes. So yeah, I love
handling a gun. Idiots.
Yeah. It's and that's one thing that's crazy about this, because you see somebody like Prez that ends up becoming like a fan favorite character.
Right. Well, I think that's what it's because he's a character that makes mistakes, kind of grows. Like he's still his dumbass self, but he finds his niche. He grows. He actually, has a heart. He's not totally heartless. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, so that's what's like always. If you see clear character growth with him, I actually hated it when he ended up, getting kicked off the force.
Is that what season is that, or is that the end of this season? No. How long does he last in the show? I can't remember.
That was in season 3. That was in season 3.
Okay.
So and then he ended up shooting an officer that was undercover. Yeah, it was, and he died. The guy had a family and everything. It was unfortunate. But they did that specifically so that they could do the school story, because Ed Burns, in between him being a police officer, he taught in the public school system, I think he said, for about 7 or 8 years. So yeah, he had a degree where he could be a teacher or whatever. And he actually taught in the Baltimore public school system. And so they wanted to talk about the school system on The Wire. So they said, okay, well, let's have Prez be me and have him stop being a cop and go and like teach in the public school system. So, oh man, I love this. Oh, this is the McNugget talk. I love it. This is when
he's explaining it in a way that it makes sense to them,
Yeah. But I mean, he's speaking facts though, where
exactly.
Yeah. This is Wallace is like, yeah, I bet the guy who comes up with these chicken McNuggets is rich.
Right.
And D is going, hey man, that guy probably just got his little regular pay and they made millions and millions. That's what happened,
Yeah, get with the program, kids. Open your eyes.
Yeah. And so but I mean, he's speaking facts though. That's when you're working for someone else, they're paying you to come up with ideas for their business.
Mm-hmm.
So
there are a lot of scientists that work for big companies.
I mean, if they paid, let's say you were working in because I've seen they've done stories on, like, say you were working in McDonald's test kitchen. I'm trying to remember.
Right.
I think they had it set up in like Ohio somewhere or whatever, where they have
an employee.
They have a national test kitchen where they come up with all kind of different innovations and stuff. And let's say those guys are making 80 grand, 100,000 a year, coming up with
probably good retirement. I would hope they have good retirement and health benefits at least.
Yeah.
Those people, I would hope.
But think about how much money McDonald's has actually made off of chicken McNuggets.
Just so much.
Hundreds of millions. Yeah, so somebody goes, hey, I'm going to do these chicken McNuggets. And it's just nothing. So It's I thought that was interesting. You know, there's a lot of gems there in The Wire.
I guess the recipe can be copyrighted or whatever they do with the recipes.
The original chicken McNugget recipe was fire. I know, but the news ran a story on it, and it was like less than like 20% actual. It was like protein or something. It wasn't actual chicken.
Right. It's like a slurry. A chicken
but I don't know
probably.
What it was. Them damn chicken nuggets was delicious.
Well, whatever, it's the grease too that they use, the fat to fry it in.
Oh,
and shit.
God. Yeah, everything. McDonald's, all that stuff. I know it's like the Matrix. It's like when the dude in the Matrix was like, look, I just want you to erase my memory. I want you to make me rich and erase my memory. I don't want to remember any of this shit. Whatever they were making the chicken McNuggets out of, I don't give a damn. They were delicious. And now they actually, when they got exposed on the news and not having chicken in the chicken McNuggets, now we have real chicken meat in there, and they don't taste the same. Whatever that shit different. Was, them chicken. I used to get the chicken McNuggets all day. Chicken McNuggets back in the day when it was fake was delicious. I don't know
old
what
school
it was.
McDonald's. Yeah, there's something about. I don't like all fast food, like really, but I could always get McDonald's. Isn't that weird?
Like I said,
I think everyone has their.
Maybe they were seasoning it with
I like their French fries. So I can't help it.
Yeah, maybe they were seasoning it with some jalapeno crack or something. I don't know what they were doing with the old school chicken McNuggets. Like I saw, I saw like exposés on like 60 Minutes where they were saying that the percentage of actual chicken in the chicken McNuggets was not that high, and then I was like, man, I don't know if it's not real chicken. Them shits was delicious. So I loved it, and that's what it was.
Soylent chicken. Is this then? Is this the beginnings of starting to? They have to like observe so that they can actually set up a wire, or have they even talked about the wire yet?
Yeah, they're okay. So now they're on the rooftop.
Happened?
You got Kima and you got Herc and Carver.
And Kima's the one who knows what the hell she's doing.
Well,
or what she needs to they need to be doing.
Well, somebody's got to be
police work.
Yeah, someone has to be Stripe. So someone has to be Stripe.
And they talk shit and they give her shit, but they also I think respect her for it at the same time because they're lazy fucks and they don't want to deal with it. So they're like, yeah, Kima's doing it.
Oh yeah, so this is Buzz doing the hat
scene.
Trick. So yeah, this is the hat trick. And this is obviously there's Weebay,
the red hat.
So yeah, if he gets the red hat, then that means that that's a nice camera.
They're important. Yeah. How'd they get that camera? The police department.
Yeah, I was like, that's a nice camera. I was sitting there going,
oh wait, did they borrow equipment yet from the Did McNaught?
No,
we haven't seen that.
I'm like, nah, he hadn't gone
passing that hat around.
So yeah, so he just gave the red hat to Stankum. And now they're doing Weebay. And then
what's with the hats? He can't. Who's that cop?
That's Carver.
Okay, Carver is like he can't put two and two together here. He's like, what's with the hats? It's like, come on, dumbass.
That's actually really smart, though. You see, I mean, I don't know if some of this obviously is based on real shit. So maybe someone, because I've done I've watched some behind the scenes interviews with the producers and stuff, and they were like, yeah, I was actually a police officer for this. There are several people that are like consulted for the show and worked on the show that were actually police officers. So there you'll see, like, I can't wait till we get to where the deacon shows up. The deacon was someone that Ed Burns actually he arrested him, and he did like 20 years. This dude was like, he had Baltimore on lock. This dude was a big drug dealer. He was a big kingpin, and Ed Burns actually arrested that dude. He got, he did like 20 years in jail, came out. Ed Burns and him seemed to get along. He was like, yeah, I arrested you, man. Hey, how you doing, brother? And
weird, crazy.
And gave him a job as the deacon on The Wire.
So crazy.
Hold on. Are we gonna get, because I was talking about you with the hoodie? Are we gonna get Bodie with the stick? I was a little bit. You see, that's what I'm saying. You repping Bodie right now.
My hoodie's a little flimsy.
Yeah, you got to get. That's one thing I loved about The Wire. They had the best clothing. They had all these merchandising deals with like Mark Echo. Mark Echo had the license to deal with 50 Cent G Unit. So like in the latter seasons, you're gonna see like a lot of G Unit wear and stuff like that. You'll see, but that's a Mark Echo brand, and they were furnishing a lot of the. I didn't realize a lot of this. These companies will pay you to have their clothes and stuff shown on the.
I learned that at a young age, Antonio. At the end of every game show, Family Feud with Richard Dawson or whoever, that's like Richard Dawson's wardrobe furnished by Men's Warehouse or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Like every game show.
Hell, I was watching some old clips of Ric Flair on when he used to be on NWA, and there was a place in St. Louis that he was shouting out all the time that was making his custom. And
yes.
He used to call that guy, man, he was talking about that dude made so much money off of him just shouting this, because he said, I would just go in there, and because he was getting so much business, because he was like, oh, you're the guy that makes Ric Flair suits. And so Rick would get all his stuff. And
for free, I assume.
He was getting hooked up because he was like, there was so many people that was wanting to come in here and get a suit made by the dude to make Ric Flair suits. He's in St. Louis. I can't remember that guy's name. He's still in business. That shop is still in business.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, but I thought that was crazy. I always loved Weebay, man. That's why I was like, I wish he hadn't got,
Weebay's in the blue jacket?
Yeah.
The quilted, okay. Gotta keep the name straight.
Yeah. There's so many of them. And then, here we go. You have a Weebay.
Something's going down.
Weebay's on, the guy that plays Weebay, he's actually on 50 Cent's new show. I'm trying to think, is it In Trial? Or it's based on a true story. A guy got locked up for like 12 years. And he went to prison and he became a lawyer and he was able to get himself out of. I can't remember. It just got picked up for a second season, but I watched the first episode, the first season of it. And the guy that plays Weebay, he's one of the inmates in there, and 50 Cent was in there as one of the inmates too. It was crazy. So yeah, I thought the first season was exceptional. So I'm very much looking forward to them coming back for next year, minus any COVID. A lot of production has been.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, I love Herc saying, "Hey, man, we don't have to listen to Kima."
He's all bent out of shape while he's sitting there not doing anything, not doing a goddamn thing.
Again, it freaks me out. Remember, I mentioned this last week about them all sitting on this old stank ass couch. Out here. Because I'm like, I bet that couch got all kind of fleas and disease in it.
They're all pretty nicely dressed here, the three of them, too, in their suits. And yes, shirts and nasty.
Because I'm telling you, I used to live in Rolling Acres here in the city. And I mean, we was in the hood, right? So it was every now and again someone would dump something like that and you'd see like a chair sitting down. And the kids, we would all just be sitting in that shit. As an adult, I sit there and go, how the hell?
Okay, you don't think about it when you're a kid. You just
it's probably got fleas and disease in it,
lice and shit. And
it rains and then I was like, but
mold.
And that's exactly it's just crazy. Oh, there's Stringer. Oh, they got D. They got D. So Stringer. See, this is early Stringer because Stringer is trying to set himself up where he don't really have to come down to to the
right, exactly. He wants to be the man. Let's be real. He's for sure.
Yeah, he's trying to. But see, that's the thing. That's kind of what ends up leading him and Avon into being in conflict because Avon, he loves the street shit. He loves it. That's what he lives for. He don't want to get, Stringer's like, yo, man, we can leave all this. We've got enough, stuff where we can just act as a bank and front everything. We don't have to get out here and do the street shit.
Right.
And Avon's
get
like,
our hands dirty.
Yeah. Avon's like, I'm in the game, baby. This is what it is. I like
He
doing this
likes
shit.
getting dirty.
Yeah, he likes that. That's part of who he is. He don't want to be sitting in some office, and paying taxes. I'm like,
they're talking about what's his name? Miniature Man. The cop that does miniatures. I can't think of his name.
oh, you talking about Cool Lester Smooth?
Lester.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then this guy right here. Well, we only see him like twice.
He's pretty minor.
Yeah, but he's the guy.
At least
Remember, Daniels was supposed to get the promotion because they have to. They actually explain. That's another thing I loved about The Wire. They were very transparent about how some of these police organizations actually do quota hiring for their promotions and stuff.
Right.
Like they have to do this. And you hear the judge talk about it too. They have to bring so many black judges up. They have to bring so many women up. They, and I thought that was interesting. You don't ever see shows doing that because that's real life. They was like, okay, we're in Baltimore. It's predominantly black city. So we have to have X amount of black judges. We have to have X amount of women judges. And then, so that's a matter of fact, the judge that is stirring all this shit, that's pissing everybody off. That's one of the reasons why he was stirring so much shit up. He was loving when McNulty was in his courtroom. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can fuck with these guys because I'm getting passed over. I'm supposed to be on the next list to go up for."
Right, it's all for politics.
Yeah, and then as we get later in the season, they came and talked to him, and say, "No, man, you're on the next list. You're carrying over." And
right,
he was
and then he stopped caring as much.
And then at that point, once he realized, "Oh, they're gonna take care of me." So, okay, I don't give a fuck about your shit, McNulty. And then McNulty's pissed off because he's like, "Yo, you was taking care of my shit." He was doing it to
you
fuck
got me
with
to
him.
care about this. What the hell?
Once they came to him and told him, "No, man, you good. We just left you off the list." Oh, okay, cool. And so he backed off. He's playing ball just like everybody else. He don't.
And they're playing ball too by putting him back on the list. Like everyone has a motive, and it's usually all very selfish and political. And Daniels is playing that quota game too. He knows. Yeah. He's an interesting character.
I just thought
because he wants. It's not like he doesn't want that promotion. He wants to be up there. And he wants to be up there because he's good at what he does, but at the same time, he's got to play these games to get there. That's exactly that's tough, position.
Especially with his wife. Okay, so you see him when, like, in the scenes where he's sitting down. I always loved that. And the woman that played his wife, she was on The Corner, which was the prequel. It was another David Simon, and you see some of the people that were on The Corner end up on The Wire as principal actors and stuff. But the woman that played his wife, she was on there, and I think she played a crackhead on that. I mean, they was selling a heroin addict or whatever. She was a drug addict, and but she's such a brilliant actress. The woman who plays Lester Daniels' wife, or Lieutenant Daniels' wife. She's definitely a brilliant actress, and the fact she can play so many different roles. I just dig her. I love this. I love that. One of many conversations where Daniels and McNulty have differences of opinion.
And Daniels' emotions come out, which he usually he's good at holding them back.
Oh God, this is crazy. I always love this. Such. I would love. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to get Lance Reddick one day. Hopefully, he'll come on, and I'd love to interview him because he's on. What's that show on Amazon Prime now? Not Boss. I can't remember. Damn.
Oh, you're close. I don't read. Yes, I can picture the
guy that played the smoke monster on Law. He was the smoke monster on Lost. And he was also with Ben Affleck in The Town, and I loved The Town. Is
that a movie? I haven't seen it.
How? Oh my God!
Because Ben Affleck was in it. I don't see most things he's in.
It's incredible. If you watch The Town, it's definitely incredible. I cannot recommend that movie enough. I was sad by the end, but I'm a pussy. I like happy endings. so yeah. So
I can just do happy endings. Just sometimes they're not warranted. That's all.
well, he was in
I
love
like
with a
crying.
woman, and yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, it didn't quite turn out the way I had hoped, and
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, people, I want, there was so much horrific shit you want to see. It's like, hey, let him go off into the sunset and have a
It's a
happy life.
TV show. You don't want it to be all realistic, right? Like, come on, give me something. Throw me a bone.
I love it. So yeah, okay. Now this scene here, this really blows me. I not only Dominic West and oh my god, I was calling his name like crazy last week. The guy that plays Bunk. Damn, I was like, hold on.
Just say Bunk.
Yeah, okay. So Dominic West, McNulty, and Bunk. They're both.
If people are watching with us, watching along with us, they know The Wire. They know what you're talking about.
So yeah, so you got McNulty and Bunk. Obviously, Kima laying back in the cut. But this is the thing. This is where you see Bunk is kind of, he thinks on his feet, and I always love this whole thing because, he grabs, you don't see, and he grabs that picture of his kids off of his desk.
Right.
Now, this is something. Now, this is going to be something that they never talk about again. In that picture that Bunk has, he has 2 sons and a daughter. For the rest of The Wire, when we see Bunk's kids, he only has 2 sons.
Was she an older kid or like?
No, she was like one of the young. And I'm like, it was just crazy because you'll see there's like when McNulty and Bunk, they take their kids to the Orioles game.
Does he have an ex or anything like that? Like, is
he
kid from like another marriage?
No,
but I mean, before this marriage, was it like a kid from a different situation or something?
They don't say, but Bunk is married the entire time, even though
It's weird that they would just drop it for no reason. But I guess there's really no reason. Like maybe they thought it didn't matter.
I would love to, because the kids that play McNulty's sons and the kids that play Bunk's sons, you will see them several times throughout the series. They kept the same actors. You see them growing up. So it was strange that in this photo, matter of fact, I think in the photo it's probably 2 different kids. It's not even the kids that
well, that's understandable. Maybe it's his niece or something in the picture. We don't know, right? I mean,
I don't know.
We're making assumptions based off of a picture that we never see again. Maybe it was his niece or something.
Because I'm just saying.
He's just saying that, these are his kids.
Well, I mean, obviously D'Angelo's out and they go, yeah, he's like, oh man, the guy's got 3 kids. And he's like, those are my kids. And I'm like,
maybe that's just a picture he always uses in situations like this.
Well, I mean, it was on his desk.
For sympathy. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he always uses this picture for sympathy.
I just thought that was interesting.
I was surprised that he cracks. Okay, so
here's the picture. Here's the picture.
Okay, let's see this picture. It is framed. Okay, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why would he have a framed picture? Boom. So you see it.
The girl is older. Maybe she would just, who knows? Again, could be a niece. I'm not too concerned about it.
I don't know. It bothered me because I was like, the fact that they kept showing Bunk's kids in various episodes.
Mm-hmm. I'm giving you the reason. It was his niece, plain and simple. They took a family shot during Christmas time or something, or families do that shit all the time.
JillSplaining. I need to know where this child went. There's a missing Negro out there.
It's his niece. She's fine. She's with her own mom and dad. She's perfectly fine.
I need a milk carton with this girl's picture on it. I need to know where this missing Negro is. I must know. And besides, D'Angelo feels Very sad.
He's feeling it. I can't. It's interesting to me. He's breaking. He's cracking.
This is some weak. I gotta be honest. This is some weak shit right here from D'Angelo because how you in the game? Here's the thing. Right. How are you in the game?
Well, and he just went through a trial.
He just murdered someone.
He's dealt with all this shit, this interrogation shit, on probably a way worse level.
Look at his face.
It really doesn't make sense, kind of.
I'm like, but this is when you start to see D'Angelo ain't got the heart. He ain't built for this shit. It's just not what
I guess that's what it is.
He just ain't. Because even the guy he killed, he didn't mean to kill him.
Like, is this just right? Like, is this just for purpose of the story, or is it because D'Angelo's weak? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it shitty writing?
No,
it's just have to
writing.
Put this in.
No,
so D'Angelo's just a weak ass little bitch.
Everybody in that scene was solid. Everybody.
I'm not saying the acting's bad. I'm just saying,
I thought you were like, no.
The fact that he's going to break down and start doing this confession, like, is that realistic? I guess is my question. Like, would he really be breaking down?
I think that plays very true. I think it plays very true to D'Angelo's character.
Okay.
I think because all through the season you see him conflicted.
That's true. I mean, that's kind of the point of this season with D'Angelo for sure. He's
now this part right here where
the Barksdale lawyer.
Yeah. This is in this whole thing, like you'll see when he gets him out, Levy does something that he would never do with any of the other street thugs that he represents, and he smacks D upside the head.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if he did it here, but he does.
That's Avon's nephew. That's Avon's nephew, and
look at how he's like grabbing. He's like, man, he grabs him by the arm and takes him out like he's a child, which he's acting like a child.
Hold on, what about this? Hold up, bam, there you go. Just popped him. What I tell you?
And D'Angelo doesn't do shit.
Do you understand if he did that to Avon, that they would they would find him in that park where they dumped all the bodies? I can't remember.
Right.
That there's that one park where the cops always go to look for dead bodies. Levy would end up in that.
Yeah, I think so.
But he feels comfortable slapping his nephew. He's slapping D'Angelo. Oh, so here we go. Cool, Lester Smooth. I love that he's not even sitting at the table with the. Oh man.
Yeah, he can't be bothered. One quick thing about if the lawyer, I think the lawyer would also get in trouble though if that lawyer didn't handle that situation with D'Angelo. Get him the heck out of there. You know, like he would get in trouble from Avon.
He would have gave up everything.
So
he would have gave everything up.
Yeah,
no doubt. Because he knows his family had something to do with Gant getting killed. He knows this. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, of course.
yeah. I always love that. Yeah, tell the kids you're sorry. Yeah, that's it. This is, oh my God. And what Avon asked him later is right. If you ain't had shit to do with it, why are you apologizing? That's just clear common sense. You didn't have nothing to do with that man getting popped. So what you apologize? You shouldn't be writing shit. I know that. I'm like, but man, okay. So there's Kima.
The whole crew's together here.
Yeah.
Lester at his desk, not participating. He's participating. He's listening. Taking mental notes.
We still don't have Sidnor yet. We still Oh, wait a minute. There he is. Okay, so he just got there. Okay, because Sidnor, that's what he was talking to that other guy for. Because he was like, man, they gave me all these bums. And
he needs some good cops.
He cut the deal with him. He was like, if you give me Sidnor, I'll keep Prez. And then so yeah, he was definitely born into it. Like we talked about his mom on the last episode, who we haven't seen yet, and I'm just baffled by Brianna Barksdale. The coddling of him with just how his mom. It's all very interesting. Yeah. Well, it reminds me. I think they say it in season 3, and they're hoping somebody that was connected to Proposition Joe's crew got popped, and they were hoping that one of his sister's sons, who was a dumbass, was going to get promoted. And one of the cops asked, he asked Daniels, he said, "You really think that's going to work?" And he looked at him and he says, "We do it all the time." So I thought that was, but that's season 3. But I always thought that was.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Well, Skits Comics. Hello, Skits Comics. But yeah, so this is, like I said, I always love the psychology of the show and the way they script it, and man. But see, this is now McNulty saying shit that's bad, because remember, Daniels has been told in no uncertain terms they don't want no wiretaps. They don't want anything. What he keeps saying, buy or bust. He wants to get in and get out.
The bare minimum, right? They want to scoop up some drug dealers and call it a day, basically. They don't care about the top dogs.
And McNulty's like, no, these guys are real.
Yeah.
You're not going to get them.
And also, you scoop those guys up and they're just going to replace them with some
the street soldiers. Yeah. You just want to arrest the street soldiers.
What are we doing here?
If you want Stringer Bell, if you want D'Angelo, if you want Weebay, the bigger guys up in the organization.
I'm sorry, I'm hungry right now. The food look good. I'm so hungry right now.
Man, yeah. I wonder who
D'Angelo and his baby and baby mama.
Yeah. We're watching The Wire. We are watching season 1, episode 2 of The Wire. We did season 1 episode, so we're going through. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cute little baby, though.
Yeah, that's D'Angelo's son.
Poor kid. Oh, get out of his hands. No. He's already grooming him for the game.
They're Barksdale.
Older uncle. Oh, I know, but I feel bad for the kid.
I remember because that scene, like towards the end of the first season, I think D'Angelo said his grandfather was Butchie Daniels or something like Butch Daniels, who apparently was, before the Barksdales were the Barksdale, he was the man, and he had Baltimore on lock.
This line has been going for a long time.
This is what they do. I mean, that's his grandfather, and then his grandfather had his kid. As a matter of fact, remember later on in this season, Avon's going to take D'Angelo to see his older brother who has a bullet wound to the head, and he's in a coma.
Right.
He's just like, I thought that was deep because he's just in a coma. And I remember that. I remember so much of this dialogue. He was like, "Does he scare you? He scares me." Because he's just sitting there brain dead in a coma and you clearly see he has a bullet wound in his temple. He took a shot to the head, and he's not dead, but he ain't alive either.
That's like Dr. Seuss. Took a shot to the head, and he's not.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, oh man, so I always love. I love Bubbles. I think Bubbles is one of the only characters that made it from beginning to the end. Everybody, well, obviously Kima did, Herkin Carver did, Lester did. Some people died, obviously. Sidnor was in.
Maybe we should tell anybody who is watching that cares, like, we spoil a lot of shit about this show.
Well, yeah, we're doing a watch along. Yeah, because the whole point is I want to watch and kind of dissect it and things that I love about the episodes and the acting and the way it's shot and hell, the city itself.
Ratty sweater that he's wearing.
That sweater looks like it would make me itch, and that it has fleas and shit in it.
It's perfect.
Yeah, all right.
And he has his one collar of his shirt sticking out. I don't know. Now he has two. Was that a continuity error?
Different takes, but that's
just noticed a continuity error. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's a definite.
That's hilarious.
It's like some of those movies you see where someone has, like, they're drinking a soda and it's almost all gone, and then the next scene comes back and they got like half full stuff. So yeah, he had the collar popped out in the one, and so yeah. He coming out with a 20 spot for him.
He earned it.
This was weird because obviously Kima was broke and she didn't have no money to give him, right? And then she don't want it to come.
Is it that, or is it that she doesn't want to give him money that she knows he's going to buy drugs with?
No.
Was it that she was broke?
No, she didn't. Yeah, she says she normally gives him $10.
Okay. I think, maybe she's not broke, but she's like, this is your deal, McNulty. You can pay him fucking $10.
No, she didn't have any money.
Oh, okay. I just didn't remember.
No, she was broke. She didn't have no money, and McNulty was like, fuck it. He pulled out 20 and gave it. And then that's why she gets on him. She's like, you're gonna spoil him, giving him 20.
That's right.
And he's like, no, I respected the work. He said that was working for me. He did such a good job. I'm cool giving him 20. But she was just gonna slide him 10. She know he going to cop. It's like what they say later in some of the others, like when Bunk's later in the later episode when he comes to her and tells her he's trying to get clean. And she said, what the hell am I gonna do with a clean informant? That's what he's useful for, because he go down there and get drugs. That's the whole point.
She likes Bubbles, but yeah.
So yeah, but I always and I would love to talk to Wood Harris too. I love Wood Harris. I remember watching him in the movie where he played Jimi Hendrix. It was one of the first things I saw him on. And Wood Harris is such a brilliant actor. I would love to talk to him.
Was that like a made-for-TV movie, or
yeah, it was on Showtime. It was on Showtime.
I could see him playing Jimi Hendrix.
He played Jimi Hendrix in. I mean, it was great, and it's one of the first things that I saw him in. And then I think he was in Paid in Full, which Paid in Full was, and then he did Paid in Full, and then he got this, because Paid in Full is like when you talk about hood movies, it's like New Jack City, Menace to Society, Paid in Full, South Central, a couple of those like hood movies, but Paid in Full always seems to come up In Too Deep, different things like that. What was the one I talked to? Exit Wounds. I remember that was what I had when I talked to Isaiah Washington. I was talking about Exit Wounds. People love like hood movies. Oh my God, this is when they do the dumb shit.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
This seems rough because you're just like, what are you doing? What the are you doing?
And they're drinking.
Dumbass cops.
Yeah, that's
cops on this show.
This is not smart right here. So
really dumb.
Yeah, we gotta go down there and show these guys who's boss. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. They've been working on this for like a couple days. They're already resorting to this.
Yeah.
They're gonna go down, shake some shit up, I guess. That's their thought. Because
we had a couple. There's a street here before the cops just start violating everybody's civil rights here in Murfreesboro. There was a street. The street still exists. It's Sevier Street. And Sevier Street here in town.
Street? Severe.
But it was named, who was this? Like a state senator or something, Severe. They
gotcha.
were giving these names. But matter of fact, I can't remember John.
But
Severe.
It was a severe street. Like
rough.
But
it's like that Chris Rock joke when he talks about whenever you Martin Luther King stood for peace. Whenever you go to MLK, there's some violence going down. He was talking about that. It's like, but Sevier Street here in town, before they really started getting into it, and you really saw the police start cracking down on it. Man, they wasn't doing nothing over there but slanging crack, and women was selling, they was prostitutes and stuff over there. That's what it was. People getting shot up over there. It was real. That's that part of town kind of reminded me of How to Wire It. And you do not see the police rolling up in there without backup. That part of town was very dangerous. And so now this is, I would never. I've seen some buildings like it. There's some in downtown Nashville. There's some buildings kind of like these. And I'm black, and I went up in those neighborhoods, and I was like, everybody's like, "What are you scared?" I was like, "Dude, I know this is the spot." I'm not fucking around. I'm like, "Oh, why are you afraid? You're black." I'm like, black people get affected by crime too.
Right.
They don't just go in it, because I was like, I knew I was at the trap. I was at the spot. So I'm sitting there going, this is the spot. This is where whenever the news says there was a shooting, this is the spot in downtown. So I'm like, and all of a sudden, I'm
just
having
the places you don't want to go if you don't. That's just a rule.
Whether you black, white, purple,
right.
So and it looks like this.
If you don't have to.
And people are because we were specifically.
Oh shit! Sorry, like when the glass shattered, you're like, holy shit! What the fuck?
Yeah. This is when we know what's going down there because he not to mention
he just busted that kid's eye open, which will come up later in the season.
He hit him with the butt of his gun.
Yeah, totally smashes his eye,
and permanently blinds this kid. By the way,
right.
Yeah,
now they're just getting bottles thrown. I think a TV gets thrown at some point.
But there's shot fire. Okay,
they crawl into the car at some point. I think.
Well, this car gets burned up, if I'm not mistaken. Don't they actually firebomb the car?
You might be right.
Oh God!
There he goes. They're just crawling.
Because because Herc is hit. He caught. Oh.
There goes that TV or whatever it was.
Bad, man. It's bad. No, that was a TV.
It was. Yeah. From old school TV.
Yeah, from 2001.
Yeah, sure, but it looked older than that though.
Probably got the TV 5 years ago. Oh, here we go, McNulty. Oh, here we go. Okay,
bachelor pad.
Yeah. Oh God.
Your place doesn't look like this, does it, Antonio? Does it?
I got to be honest. I was sleeping on the floor.
Really?
Here's the thing.
Don't you have a bad back, or is that good for your back?
No, it's terrible for your back. But I was broke
that's
and I didn't have nothing. So look, my woman had convinced me to all my shit was crap and all her stuff was beautiful. So I had to get rid of all the shit that I own, my bed, everything, and throw it out. And then we brought all her shit in.
Right.
So when she decides she's leaving my black ass,
right,
all the shit left with her. So all of a sudden, I got pillows and a blanket on the floor. And I had friends come over and they go, damn, you ain't got nothing. I was like, with what money? I don't have anything because the couch was hers. The bed was hers. All the books and shelves and stuff, that was her stuff that we, you know what I'm saying? The little tables, that was all her stuff. So yeah, I was sleeping on the floor.
I wish we lived closer together. I have a couple of things in the garage that I want to get rid of.
Well, I've replaced everything now, but it was not good. I mean, it was not good, So I was oh no. Oh yeah, I love it. He messed up this other officer's desk. And he was like, McNulty sits it. There's Cole, who obviously passed away. Oh God, this is not good. So yeah, so oh, I love this. Oh, I always love this actor here that played what's his name, Landsman.
Yeah, he's pretty likable, huh? Just in that sort of way. Like,
oh, here we go. McNulty. Boom. All right. So okay, they firebombed.
I'm like, well, where are we? What's happening here? Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. We see the car got firebombed. They burned that car out.
Yeah, well, they obviously got out of there before that happened.
Well, they called in. They were like, "Hey, I got shot" or whatever. They called in the police, but they burned that whole car out, man. That car just got smoked out.
It's hard to say they didn't deserve it. I mean, they absolutely deserved it. You got people coming up into your neighborhood, your house. Everyone's living here, looking at this shit. They're rousting. Their friends and family who live there for no reason whatsoever, smashes a kid's eye open. Yeah, let's throw some bottles at these assholes.
Well, it start with the bottles, and then you see TV and gunshot. It just got crazy.
Like, you haven't left yet? Here's some more.
TJ Sn1 is watching the Ozarks. Okay.
Did I watch season? How many seasons are there? I watched
3. There's 3.
I watched the first 2 seasons. Or maybe just the
3,
first season.
And I thought I just read that show got canceled, even though it was one of their most popular shows on Netflix.
I had mixed feelings about what I watched. What didn't I like about it? It felt like there was always something happened, and then it was like something else happened, and then something else happened, and then something else.
I'm going to watch it.
There was always a twist, and it was kind of like too much. So
I'm going to watch it because I just got through The Witcher, because I know The Witcher is supposed to be coming back in a couple weeks and stuff. And I'm looking forward to that.
Is it any good? I mean, I played the game, but
it was all right. I enjoyed it. It's good enough where I'm going to watch the next season.
I don't know if I want, like, is it Geralt or Geralt?
Yeah, Geralt.
My Geralt is an older, more grizzled Geralt. That would be more my style.
Henry Cavill is too young.
Too young for me.
To be your Witcher.
To be my Witcher, exactly.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty, oh Valley of Plenty.
Is that in the show?
Yeah, that's one of the songs. Yeah, that was like the character, the bandolier, whatever the hell they call him, the little singing guy with the lute. And,
my gosh, I can't.
He's in the video game. He's in the video game.
Yes, he is. It's like this really like. Well, I should just.
But he comes up with the Witcher song. You know, he can toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty, which I love that song. But, oh God.
Does he get with the Yennefer or
but
because in the game you can get with whoever you want to, or neither of them, or both of them. But if you get with both of them, at the end of the game you end up with neither of them. So
because you know, okay.
The first time I played the game, I ended up with the worst ending, not romantically, but my like daughter, well, it's not really the kid, but was it Siri, whatever the hell her name is, she goes off to do this thing, and I'm like, all right, cool, like the game's almost over, like she's gonna come back, we'll have the closing scene, and she doesn't come back, and my Geralt just ends up in this cabin, like feeling sorry for himself, getting surrounded by all the creatures, like basically committing suicide by magical creature. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
he dies?
It ends with like him just kind of giving up in the middle of this cabin with it, like just getting surrounded by all these like creatures and stuff, and him just being sad and because Siri never came back. I was like, what did I do? How did I get here? And then I played it again because I'm a freak.
Okay, so
here's Daniel's wife. What's her name in the show? What do you remember? What her character name is?
Marla.
Martha.
Marla.
Okay.
Marla Daniels, and she's gonna become a congresswoman later.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be.
What does she do right now? Do we know what her job is? I mean,
I'm assuming it's something in politics anyway, because when Daniels goes to that dinner, he goes to the that dinner
right. With her.
She's trying to move her political weight up.
Right.
She's wanting to, because that's kind of where their marriage kind of goes left, especially when he goes, look, I'm not going to be a police officer anymore, or I missed my career. And she's wanting him. She's like, look, you got a law degree. Why don't you just go on and walk away from this shit and become a lawyer, which is still good. He can become a respectable lawyer in the city, and then she can have her political career. Because she's trying to, like, say, she's wanting to, you know,
she needs to look good.
She wants to. Yeah, because you see when he's going to these political dinners and having to meet people, there is a respectable black couple. They both got degrees and they have upstanding jobs within politics and the law. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, I'm like, you know, he ruined his political career. And she's like, okay, so quit and become a lawyer. Nah, I think I want to work this case because he likes being a policeman.
Yeah.
And then so she gets mad because you see later, I think in season 3, he's sleeping on the couch. They're not even in a relationship anymore. They're
keeping up appearances publicly.
Yeah. And matter of fact, they have that one dinner and he puts on his uniform and stuff to go and meet with people that are trying to help her run for office and stuff. And then when they decide that the mayor is going to put her on his ticket, like, oh shit, we ain't got to pretend no more. And then he starts messing with Rhonda and stuff, you know, openly. So I always love that. Oh, they're tired, man.
Yeah, back to the
Oh,
couch.
here we go. Here we go. Okay, let me see. Oh, that's right. Omar don't come to the next episode. I thought I was like,
Okay, you thought that was what I was like, wait, no, that's not Omar.
yeah, it's definitely not Omar, but I know Omar's got
What
people
happened right here? I can't remember. See, I didn't watch. I like watched all the episodes like a couple weeks ago.
Oh
Oh
no,
god,
he
he's
didn't know if he's drunk.
wasted.
Yeah,
Totally
and then,
drunk. Oh, he's got roll down the hill.
oh
Classic.
yeah,
Oh,
that
he doesn't
actually
roll,
looked real.
unfortunately.
You know that actually looked real.
Totally real.
I mean, seriously, it looked like he.
Because if it wasn't real, he would have rolled down like whoa. And then not wanting to get up, that's very real. You're down. It's like, yeah, I'm down.
I mean, that slip looked legitimate, and they just kept it in.
It looks wet. The ground looked wet.
Yeah, he goes, oh, and they go, hey, let's run with that. Let's just film him.
Keep that shot.
Yeah, because
the Daniels definitely live off of her salary. There's no way this is the cop's salary. They're like that dining room they were eating in. It's pretty nice. Just like Kima's place. They all live. Damn. Well, I guess that's TV for you, though, right?
Kima's girlfriend is definitely the breadwinner in that family.
That's for sure.
Yeah, because they're paying for these pregnancy classes and all this stuff. Yeah, that's her shit. That's her. And obviously, they just told him that kid is blind in one eye now because of Prez's dumbass. So Robert Colesberry,
and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, this is it. So okay, so that's the end of The Wire, season 1, episode 2. The Detail of a great episode. I really enjoyed it.
I was gonna say not a lot happens, but that one, like that's the scene with the cops at the were they at the tower? Was that the towers where they were at?
It was the 2 towers they were at were part of Avon's territory.
Yeah, but that's when we hear them talk about the towers. It's that area. It's the big tall buildings, I assume.
If I'm not mistaken, they said Avon had 6 towers. He had 6 towers, and that's where most of his money, the low rises, that's where his money came from. He had 6 towers. So that's where we go into the later seasons, season 3, the city starts shutting those towers down, and they're wanting to this is when we start getting into gentrification and stuff like that, because they're like, let's knock these buildings down and actually put some condos here. And the condos bring white people instead of people that we have now. So it was like they're trying to flush. You hear about this stuff. It's
it happens everywhere all the time.
Because I'm hearing like that's happening a lot in some of the black neighborhoods, like in LA and stuff. They're trying. I've seen people saying that they're raising because they know that football stadium is almost completely done or whatever. And a lot of those areas around there are going to be prime real estate because of that, where the Rams and the Chargers are going to be, And
not just that, but even with places like that too, the people that buy it up don't even go and fucking live there. They just B&B those places, which turns those neighborhoods into into a completely different beast altogether. Like
there are
there's lots of layers,
areas that are surrounding that stadium.
Yeah,
poor neighborhoods.
Yeah,
there are I've seen some of the message boards and stuff, and people are talking and they're saying, hey, these guys, they're trying to run us out. They're running the rent up so high that we can't afford to live here. And then that way they can reclaim the property. You run those black people out, and then you have it set. This is what's going to happen in The Wire in season 3, where the city is like, it's better if we let them knock these towers down, and then we can put some condos in here. And
they're like, we don't have to, quote, clean it up by ourselves. They're just gonna bulldoze it and clean it out that way.
I heard some people were breaking The Wire down, and they were kind of talking about the black people are getting pushed out into Baltimore County. They want,
and not Baltimore proper.
Yeah, they want the main city to be white again. They want it to be. They want that higher tax base. So they need to get these poor black people out of here. So you get rid of the place.
Possible tourist dollars too, I assume, would be on the table.
Because you actually hear them saying some of this. That's why one thing I loved about the show, it was so realistic because people that were there, they're like, this is real. This is what's really happening. They're talking about it because they're like, okay, if we knock these towers down and they put some condominiums and shopping malls there, that's going to bring white people back into the main part of the city. And then we can you're not getting rid of the crime. You're just pushing it downtown or something.
Like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, we redevelop this area and make it whiter. And then we get rid of, we're not getting rid of the black people. We're just moving them here. So right now, Marlo Stansfield is coming up. He's a small timer, but he's got some of the best street corners, at least by like next season or so. You have to kind of, he's working on building his street corner empire, where I remember when Stringer goes talk to him, he's like, what are you making, $1.5 million a year? He's breaking down because he's got some of the, by the time they push everybody out and the towers are gone. So now the tower, and you actually hear
that revenue base is gone.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, he was making, he's talking where he's making like $200,000 or $300,000 a day from these 6 towers. He got 6 towers. And in fact, he's got these 6 towers generating like over $200,000 or $300,000 a day for him. Just from all the drugs he's selling, right? So that's millions of dollars. Now the towers come down, even even later, when they cut that deal with Proposition Joe, and they go, okay, we're gonna give Prop Joe like 2 of the towers. We'll let him slang 2 of the towers or whatever, and then we keep the rest of them. And Stringer thinks this is a great idea, Avon's like, no, Prop Joe needs to stay his ass on East Side. We're not letting East Side come in and slang on the West. That's not how the game works. But he locked up.
Right.
So
you're encroaching on his shit now. Yeah.
And because of the stuff that happened with D'Angelo, their connect out of New York don't want to sell drugs to them no more. He's like, no, your boy was going to snitch on us. And Stringer's like, no, we gave you all the transcripts. D was never going to fold, which we obviously know D was going to fold. He was snitching on everybody.
Easily.
He was going to give him his uncle, his moms, everybody. He was giving everybody. He was giving it up. And then they went to him. His mama went to him and she talked to him because he had cut a deal where he could leave. He wasn't even going to leave with his kids. He wasn't even trying to say, hey, let me take my son with me. He was
he's a piece of shit.
He was just like, let me go somewhere. He's like, I don't care where I go. I just don't want to see them again. I just want to be somewhere safe where I can start over.
It really is.
And his mama said, how you going to start over without your people? And he was like, damn, because now you can't see your son no more, all this kind of stuff.
Right. You have no one. Good luck.
Yeah, so this is the reality. So Stringer, but obviously they're not going to tell the New York dude, hey, man, D was going to roll up on everybody. But regardless, the drug connect sees and reads the stuff in the paper. Even though he gets the transcript, he was like, I can't hustle with y'all no more. So they get cut off. And then, but this is what brings the Greeks in. The Greeks already have a drug connect through Prop Joe.
What season is this?
Side. This is season 2. This is season 2.
Okay, season 2 next season.
This is season 2. So Proposition Joe.
I'm going to start watching season 2 just so I can be more familiar.
But I love it because that's the thing. Proposition, because Avon, he gets his stuff directly from New York, which their stuff is Peru. If I'm not mistaken, I could swear they told her their stuff is like straight Peruvian. They have a Peruvian connect or whatever. The New York stuff, it's a little stepped on, but it's still good. Obviously, Avon making good money, right? Proposition Joe stuff is that fire. The Greek stuff, he got the feds. He got people working in the feds and stuff, helping him smuggle stuff in. And I mean, his stuff is so good and potent that Proposition Joe got the whole East Side on lock, and everybody had to buy from him. But he can't move. He can't slang on the West Side because he knows Avon's got the muscle over there.
Right.
He got muscle, but he ain't got muscle like Weebay and Stankum and Bird. All this, Avon got some hitters. So he's like, I make enough money on the east side that I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'll stay over here.
Yeah. Even though his dope is better than what Avon's is. And so then at that point, now Avon's drug supply is cut off. And he done lost they're getting ready to lose his towers. So he's
right.
Like, okay, I'm weak because a lot of my crew got busted. Now my drug connect is thinking we snitched on them, so they don't want to slang to me no more. Boom. And then Prop Joe go, hey man, I'll let you get in a good cut, but you got to give, I don't need you, even though he really does want.
You're in my hands now.
Yeah, he wants the money that Stringer is about because he knows Stringer and the Barksdales, they move a lot of weight over there. But he wants, that's why I always love Proposition Joe. He said, perhaps a proposition will fall kindly on your ears. And he makes his moves, right? They actually drew, I actually posted this on my Instagram a couple years ago. There was one dude working at Marvel. I guess he was a Wire fan. And the actor that played Proposition Joe, he had a heart attack and he died. He was only like 56, 57 years old. He wasn't that old. And
but that makes sense.
But yeah, he's a big dude. So Prop Joe's a big dude. And like I said, he died young. And it was kind of cool. He drew Prop Joe in the scene. It was either Daredevil or Spider-Man, one of those books or whatever. He just kind of drew him in. He was just a character. And people noticed, they were like, whoa, that looks like Proposition Joe.
He has a very distinctive look. So
yeah, he had the braids and
I'm
he
looking at him right now.
Big dude and stuff. And so I thought that was cool. I actually want to buy that comic just because I love Proposition Joe so much. I love Prop Joe.
Oh, I just remember they have the basketball game later this season.
Yes,
between the east side and the west side.
That's the thing. So
and it's just like college sports. They like bring in the ringers for this big basketball game.
Yeah, and, I mean it gets. But here's the thing: I heard some of the people from apparently there's a game like that really does go down in Baltimore where these big ballers, these kingpins, they and I'm talking about you talking $100,000 getting bet, and it's real money.
Ooh.
Yeah, they putting for a little pickup game, 100 G's. And
it's not so little, obviously.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't have $100,000.
Right? Yeah,
So I'm like, yeah, but this is apparently how they do it. So this is when they put this in. So I'm actually looking forward to that because Avon's like, yeah, they done beat us the last few years. Gonna make sure we take care of it this time. And then Proposition Joe, he still got the hitters in there. He's still crazy.
We'll get there. That's
I can't wait. That was one of the things because that's like I said, as this season goes on, it gets better and better and better. I thought this season from beginning to end was just so well written, so well acted.
It is.
Everybody
and the way it ends and everything. Like,
yeah, the producers, everybody was top of their game. This is some of the finest television that has ever been filmed. I mean, period, hands down. You talk about like, and I'm putting it up there with Breaking Bad, putting it up there with Boardwalk Empire, which I love. The Sopranos.
I never watched the Boardwalk Empire.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
Last season gets a little weak. Last season's a little shaky for me.
You're killing it for me now.
But there was his that fifth season. But the first four, there's parts of the fifth season. It's a shorter season too. That was another thing. It was one of those where they were just like, I think everybody was like, man,
they were done.
Yeah, they were done. It's just gonna be an abbreviated season.
Let's wrap this up.
They gotta wrap it down. But boy, like those.
Is that the one with Steve Buscemi?
Yeah.
Okay, I do like Steve Buscemi.
Oh, I'm telling you, you'll love it. Him and Nucky, and to watch Nucky kind of start as one thing and then become something else. And this, I really think we could that could be another one with it we watch because I love Boardwalk Empire. I think
add it to the list.
Yeah, that's why I was like, there's so much strong stuff that I would love to watch with you because not to mention I just like talking to you when we stream this. But no, The Wire, like I said, The Wire, especially this season, I think. I mean, I keep using the example of like I'm using a lot of the British serials that I've watched that I think because and sometimes the British shows aren't as they don't have the resources, but
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's they can't
sometimes they
do,
feel smaller or more like closed in a little bit sometimes.
but it's such good television. Like if you get a chance, it's on Netflix. Watch a show called Top Boy.
Okay.
Amazing.
Is it a drama? Is it a mystery?
Yeah.
It's a drama.
It's kind of, and they said this is The Wire if it was British. Top Boy is The Wire for like a British version of The Wire, and it is because it's got these two guys and they're slinging heroin, and you see it is a crime serial. Obviously, the police are trying to stop them and doing all this kind of stuff, but you see it from it's definitely from a different perspective. You see, I guess, the way that drugs are sold over in the UK as opposed to the way, because it's not they definitely
it's different.
But they're
similar.
They're still selling drugs though. So it's just you see
and
them
they
grinding.
still have their projects. Like I can't remember, like where Rose lives in the
but
Doctor Who.
It's like when I went out to Kansas and saw my brother, right? And they have a hood out there, but their hood didn't look like the hood down here. The hood,
what did it look like, or what was the difference?
It was just like,
was it more like farm? Like I think in Kansas, I think Wizard of Oz. So I think like farmland.
It was little houses, but it was just a poor neighborhood and stuff. It was just, he took me out there, and it was just like, it was like a neighborhood where you look maybe 25, 30 years before. It was probably a regular neighborhood. They out there, but they trapping out there. They out there hustling, and it really goes down out there. And they also had that meth. They had the ice or whatever and all that kind of stuff. So it was just it didn't look like the hood, but it felt like the hood.
And it felt like the hood. That's interesting.
It definitely felt like the hood. You could feel, and not to mention the places where they were. They had a lot of Native Americans there. They had started getting, when I made this trip, they obviously, because you have the Indian reservations and stuff out there. Like matter of fact, my brother went to the casino. There's it's right over the border. You can get there in like less than an hour. You get it. You leave Kansas and go over to Oklahoma, and you hit the Indian casino and stuff. So he was trying to get me to go. I didn't feel like going. I was like, man, I just got off a plane and I was tired. He's like, yo, man, everybody wants to meet you. And I was like, cook some dinner then and have him come over, because I just don't feel like it. And he was like, yeah, it was just, I was just tired. But he went out. It was crazy because he went to the casino, and I remember he ended up, his car broke down or something, and me and his wife had to go get it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, we had to help him get his stuff.
My mom loves the Indian casinos. Well, my mom just loves a casino, but when she can't get to Reno or Vegas, then that's one thing she's really missing right now.
But that's why I'm saying, like, but yeah, there was a little area there that he took me to where if you about that drug life, this is the spot, right? And like I said, it didn't look like, I've been in a bunch of projects. It just didn't look like that, but it felt like it. You see what I'm saying? It was different. The layout was different. It wasn't, I'm used to, these red brick buildings and all that kind of, it just looked like a neighborhood with poor white people in it, but it had a different flavor to it. It just felt different. It just hit different. And you like the house that you knock on where you need to get the stuff, you could tell that was the spot. You know what I'm saying? It just, everything, I was like, okay, it looks different, but it feels like the hood. I know this place. I've been, I'm not from there, but I'm from there. You know what I'm saying? I know this, and that's why I always like The Wire, no matter where it's like when they get into season 2 and you go to the poor white area with the dock workers and everything, and you see how the white guys slang versus how the black guys slang. And Herc actually talks about it, because the white guys, they don't have to use, they're not as cautious, they're not talking in codes. And Herc was like, Man, them black dudes was a lot more careful of police surveillance than we are.
Is that just because they know they're not being, or at least weren't being, scrutinized, as watched, as
And that's the thing, man. So it's just like, I don't know. I thought that was interesting when they did that little dialogue in season 2, because Herc was like, man, I feel sorry for white drug dealers in Baltimore, because he's like, it's just, they're not even trying not to get caught. They don't switch it up. He's like, they're not using codes on the payphones. The stuff they had to go through to catch the Barksdale crew,
right,
and to decipher codes, and okay, he got his pager number, and we had to figure this out. They had to do all of the wiretaps.
They have them on camera at the payphone as the other two guys, like, we'll get into that, but like as the other two code guys are like writing it down, like, they have to like log everything, but that's all for court and stuff. So
and then but Herc, when you see Herc in season 2, he just dresses up and goes, "Hey man, let me get some drugs." They don't, and they just sell it to him. There's not a runner. You see the whole thing is set up different. They don't need runners. It's like, that's for the black side of town. We don't have, the police aren't over here, so we don't have to do that. You guys, we don't have to use codes on the phone, because the police they're on the black side of town trying to catch y'all. So I thought that was interesting that they pointed that out. I thought that
Wire, it's a good show.
Yeah, that's why I was like, there's so many different levels to The Wire, and that's why I was like, they really, as they break the city down in different spots and stuff, they really, you really get to meet, you get the flavor of Baltimore. And I was just like, I've been through there, going through Maryland and stuff, and I was like,
I've never been to Baltimore.
The city is different, it was like it lives and it breathes. It's got its own flavor. It's like going to New Orleans. So you get certain cities and they have, you get the little, you're in Maryland and stuff, and they get the crab cakes and all that. It's just like you go down to New Orleans, and New Orleans got its own flavor. You be in Florida, and then Miami feels different than Tallahassee. You know what I'm saying? It's like Miami's got its own little flavor. You know what I'm saying? Miami. Miami, that's why I always thought was so cool. And I mean, it's even a little different from what you would see like on Miami Vice or something. It's like, you got the Haitians, you got the Cubans in it. It's like Miami's got its own little, it's developed, it's America, but it's got its own little, the city is so big and it's diverse, and it's got this little, it's got
lots of different types of people.
And that's why I'm like, or like I'm into Houston. Like, you go to Houston, and you go.
Never been to Texas.
You go to Houston, and you go to like the 5th Ward where the Ghetto Boys are from and stuff. That's the Ghetto Boys always talking about 5th Ward. It's real out there. It's different. So it's like that city. It's still. Or you go to Chicago. Like, you go to Chicago, and you go to where you're always hearing about folks getting lit up in Chicago. It's like they got different, because you got where like the Vice Lords, and you got the different gang acts. You got different, if you in those little spots, or you go to Detroit. I've got a young lady I used to work with. Her family's up in Detroit, and she goes up there every couple of months and visits her family. But when she comes back, she goes, every time I go, she's like, I'm glad to go visit my family, but I know why I got up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And she talks about it. She knows that, because the way Detroit looks now is just crazy. So it's just crazy. So I don't know. So East LA. I actually agree.
Yeah, so every city, probably big city, at least, most cities have their
that's what I'm saying. So
gangs or whatever.
It's just even a place like Cleveland, like that's where Bone Thugs and Harmony from. And when they were putting them CDs out, and they were acting like Cleveland's like the hardest place out there. Just like,
right.
But I see, they were on like MTV, and they be like, hey, let's do a journalistic piece about, let's go home. We'll talk about your album, and you can walk us around the hood. They were walking around East 99 down there in Cleveland. That's the hood. It looks like the hood. and it looks like it's a real hood. It's serious out there.
It's not Drew Carey's Cleveland.
No, he's on the right side of town. Drew Carey. No,
Obviously.
but where Bone is, you see it, man. There's all these rundown buildings. There used to be businesses there. Everybody's left and it's abandoned, and people out there shooting and fighting dogs and doing all the stuff that criminals do. You know, I was like, it's like you go to the bad side of town in Birmingham, which I've been to many times. Like you go down to Birmingham and you get on the wrong side of the you get where the businesses are, and you go to the hood, and it's really a hood. You know, it lives and breathes different. It's just different. Or, oh God forbid, Atlanta. They got Atlanta
Never
broke
been to
into.
Atlanta
There's like 5 sections of there. You got the SWATs in Atlanta, the Southwest Atlanta, and I'm like, when you go to the SWATs, it's matter of fact, my boy took me to 5 Points. There's too many 5 Points out there. They got some good restaurants out there, but man, Atlanta is Atlanta. You know, it was just they got the little suburbs because my buddy Tracy, he lived out there. And he lived in the little gated community where you have to boop, 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 boop.
Is that where the Real Housewives live, in the gated community of Atlanta?
Actually, I would say so, but the reason I'm saying is he specifically mentioned that one of the people that lived out in this area that he lived in, it was very close to what's the guy that Tyler Perry? Tyler Perry has his Atlanta studios out there, and they shoot all them Madea movies and his little TV shows and little stuff out there. But they said he was closing that one studio down, trying to open a bigger. He was getting so busy, he was trying to open up a bigger studio.
Yeah,
and he was looking to relocate or whatever. To he needed more space. And Tracy told me, he said, "Man, that kind of hurt some people because just having that studio in the area created a lot of jobs.
Yeah,
and there were a lot of people that lived in his little community that worked at the Tyler Perry studios and stuff. And it was cool when I rolled up in there. You know, he gave us the code so we could go up in there. And, I'm looking around and it looks like normally when I'm in neighborhoods like this, everybody there is white and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about, you see Mercedes and BMWs and people I'm talking about
everyone has money.
Everybody
in a gated community.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it's just this was the nicest neighborhood I had been in, and it was black. And I'm talking about, man, everybody had nice cars, 2 or 3 car garages. Boom, boom, it's like there were like baseball players that lived there, like they played for the Braves and stuff like that. I was like, everybody, and I was like, you living nice. So I was like, okay. But I mean, I knew he made good money. And so I was like, okay. I was like, you're doing all right, man. I was just
nice neighborhood.
I went in the house, I went in the spot, and the garage was so big. I was like, damn, they had, like I said, he was in there, had a nice, he had a couple of vehicles in there. He had like a BMW, he had everything was nice. There was a brother just out on the street washing his car and everything. Had it nice, everything was chromed out and everything. I was like, man, I couldn't even afford to drive past this neighborhood. But it was so nice. But I looked and I was like, it actually made me, I was like, man, that's a possibility, because you hear my uncles and stuff. I would talk to some of them about how things were like in the South and Alabama and stuff, like when things were more segregated before the Civil Rights Bill, and you saw more black neighborhoods like that. There were, because everything was, so you had more black doctors and black lawyers and stuff, black people that owned businesses, and they went all these slums and everything, and you didn't have a bunch of women having kids out of wedlock and doing all this kind of thing. So I just and there were black bank owners and butchers, and they had these neighborhoods, and this was, and they were good, and it wasn't a bunch of crime and drugs and stuff. They were real nice neighborhoods. So when I was describing this, and they were like, yeah, it used to be like this all the time, like 55, 60 years ago. You know, these neighborhoods existed all over the country. And then, you know, like you got into the 70s and there was a recession and yeah, a lot of these black neighborhoods dried up and the houses became slums and stuff like that. But you had like Tulsa, you hear like about Black Wall Street and stuff like that. And maybe that's why I like The Wire so much, because like I said, the fact that they're willing to tackle some of these things, because like I said, you're not, like, by tearing the towers down, they know you don't have less crime. You don't get less crime. You're just relocated. It's a shell game.
The people disappear. Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, you're just
needing a place to freaking live.
Yeah, so and matter of fact, the whole Amsterdam thing proved that. I mean, obviously it's not real, but the Amsterdam thing proved that. He didn't solve, his crime dropped significantly. And I mean, he had his crime was down over 20-something% from his, what did he do? He took all his hot zones and he says, okay, this one's closest to like where regular, good, decent folks would be. So this is a safe zone. But if you move your drug dealers from these areas, we will let you openly sell drugs here, here, and here. So he set up an area that he wanted to keep safe.
They're controlling the numbers.
Yes. And then he set up, I thought that was brilliant. And some people was like, man, they would never. And you saw, but everybody was like, oh, and even when he was at the Comstat meetings where you have to report, why do you have a 20% drop in crime? Bring your ass in here and explain your numbers. And he was like, you can go over my numbers. My numbers are real. Everybody else is juking. They're faking and making up the numbers. His numbers were, this is bullshit. Your numbers aren't real. My numbers are real. I'll stand on them. He's looking, but he's not telling them that he's openly letting people stand.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, it made sense.
Hey, they only care about the freaking numbers.
Yeah. And in the places that were in downtown where the police, you concentrate the police in that area that's the safe zone, and you go, okay, we don't have to concentrate. And then everybody, you're not seeing people getting shot and stabbed and doing all this because they're not beefing for territory. Everybody can slang out here. So it's like everybody can say, you see Bubbles Depot, he set up the little, the cart and everything. And
I do remember that.
Yeah, he's selling T-shirts and toilet paper and different supplies and cigars and stuff. He started going out there making money.
Yep.
Because I thought the whole thing was dope. I thought it was an interesting idea. And then when they tried to get the city involved and they had them going out there like talking to like the prostitutes, hey, maybe you want to try to get clean and you don't want to sell drugs or whatever. It's like maybe, hey, and they're passing out condoms to the prostitutes and trying to get them, hey, I know you're going to keep being a prostitute, but please, if you can be safe, let's try to, cut down on like STDs and diseases being spread and all that kind of stuff that happens. I thought that's why I think season 3 for me, I thought that was such a strong, and obviously Aidan Gillen as Mayor Carcetti, or he's not mayor, he's Councilman Carcetti.
That's Littlefinger, right?
Yeah, that's Littlefinger. Yeah. So when you bring Aidan Gillen in season 3, I didn't realize I loved him so when he showed up on Game of Thrones.
Obviously, this is before Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I knew him from The Wire first, and I didn't realize he was British or whatever he is.
Yeah, I thought he's from Scotland, I think.
So he's not American.
Yeah. Oh, obviously no. I didn't know he was
an American Baltimorean.
But he had been on. I think the producer said they saw him on Queer as Folk. Huh. He had been on Queer as Folk over in the UK. And he was one, and the guy that was on Sons of Anarchy as the lead, the young dude on Sons of Anarchy was one of the.
Never watched that show.
Oh, I love Sons of Anarchy, but
there's people on it I liked, but the premise of it I could care less about.
Yeah, I love Sons of Anarchy.
I couldn't care less, whatever.
But yeah, that's where Aidan Gillen was on Queer as Folk, and then they saw his work and they were like, that dude is great. Let's bring him in as Councilman Carcetti. He comes in, obviously kills that. He actually won like a British award for The Wire and stuff. They submitted him.
He's like really good on The Wire. And like I said, I haven't seen season 3 yet. Or you know what? I may have seen like the last half of season 3. It doesn't matter. But he's excellent when he comes in. He's really good.
That's why I'm saying. So like for me, like I said, season 1 and then season 3. Then season 4 and season 2 are so close, but I give season 4 and then I'll put season 2 and then season 5. That's the way I see it. So so 1, 3, 4, 2, and then 5 for me.
I can't do my order yet till we finish.
But season 3 with Amsterdam. Oh, I just, like I said, there was so much hot fire they were spitting because, like I said, you do start seeing those towers go down, and Avon has finessed his way out of jail, even though he had years to do, and then he's finessed his way out, just from setting things up, and he told
politics, baby.
Yeah, because he was like, hey, the stuff that happens in season 2. But like I said, Avon gets out, and then Avon's like, okay, I'm out. But now the towers he never worried about downtown before because he was like, I got the towers. He was making 10 times the money that the guys on the street corners were making because he owned those towers, all 6 of them. And matter of fact, he actually says, I think in second or so season, they actually fought a war with another crew to get control of all 6 of those towers because they're millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
So he was like, I won those towers. And then the city goes, okay, we shutting those down. So now he's like, all right, well, I still got my money and I still got product to sell. I need those street corners. So now all those corner boys, those crews, they tooling up. Because they go, wait a minute, you can't just roll up in here and take my stuff. I'm not making as much money as you, but I got heart, man. This is Baltimore.
This is my earning. God damn it. This is my living.
So that's where we get Marlo Stanfield from, which obviously Marlo, I love Marlo. And, Marlo is, I don't love Marlo the way I love Avon, but it's just, he's still a great character, and his crew with Chris and Snoop are just, they're just incredible. So
I don't remember, but I do.
Yeah, when Chris and Snoop get in, I'm excited. I can't wait. So I can't wait till we get to next week for Wire Wednesday, and we get to see, this will be where Omar actually debuts. So episode 3 of The Wire.
Omar and his boy.
Omar coming. So,
yeah. So, if I ever heard that on the street, I'd run.
Well, I love
take cover.
What was it? I always love when Omar is walking and he whistles. He always whistles the farmer and the Dale.
Yes. Creepy.
Yeah. And so you'll get Omar coming in, and that's just what it's gonna be. So I'm excited. So we'll be back next week for season 1, episode 3 of The Wire. This time seems to work for us, so I think
so.
This unless something
I can kind of by that point or this point in the day, I kind of know if I have anything I have to do or not.
Yeah.
Work wise, so
because it works for me as well. I was sitting here, I was packing, and then I was like, okay, well, let's watch The Wire, and we can do it. So
our other show that we do, which is always just random. It's just random. It's whatever. You got to follow. You got to subscribe to Ikari Press and get those notifications or whatever.
Yes. YouTube.com/Ikari Press. As always, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We always love. It's always good to see familiar faces in the chat.
Yes.
Jill, is there anything, since this is your show, is there anything you would like to say before I close this bad boy out?
I always know that you're going to ask me that question, but I never have anything prepared.
It's the JillStream, and you're Jill, so I have to ask you.
No, I'm not saying don't ask me. I'm just saying I don't have a good answer.
I'm putting you on the spot. And it's like,
I like TJ Swan. He's one of our regulars. We like TJ Swan.
Yeah. TJ is lit.
That'll be a shout out to TJ Swan. That's the last thing I'll say on this stream.
Big shout out to TJ Swan. And with that being said, I am going to wrap this one up. Always catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on YouTube, all at Akari Press. AkariPress.com takes you to Brand Way of the Gun. You can check that out. We're over $28,000. Thank you guys for supporting Brand Way of the Gun. And, of course, Amazon and Teespring if you want any of my crappy merchandise to wear.
And you do. You want it. You want it bad.
Yes, they're fantastic shirts, and we appreciate everybody that has purchased those. I'll get a little notification that I've sold another shirt, and I always appreciate you guys for doing that. So thank you very much. Excelsior!
Bye!